Buddhism is an ancient tradition with answers to life's biggest questions today. Why do we suffer? How do we relate to other beings? And how do we make the world a happier and more peaceful place for everyone? Our mission at BDK America is to help people understand Buddhism better. Are you looking to start learning about Buddhism or dig deeper? BDK America offers free books and videos for peoples of all ages and levels. Our most popular book, The Teaching of Buddha, is available to read in English and 46 other languages in physical, PDF, and audiobook formats. Visit our website for our latest publications and order your own free copy today.
Hi, we're glad you could join us. In our recent shows, we've been focusing on the Eightfold Noble Path, which constitutes the basic set of practices or self-imposed guidelines that help us to put into practice the principles that we have been discussing. In a previous show, we noted that there are three categories or dimensions to the Eightfold Noble Path, specifically wisdom, conduct, and meditation. We have already talked about the wisdom and conduct categories. So today, we shall focus on the meditation dimension. The meditation dimension refers to right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration of the Eightfold Noble Path. Right effort is the focused, energetic will to foster positive and wholesome states of mind. The four ways of accomplishing this, as explained traditionally, are 1. To prevent negative and unwholesome states of mind from arising. 2. To prevent negative and unwholesome states of mind that have already arisen. 3. To produce positive and wholesome states of mind that have not yet arisen. And 4. To foster and bring to perfection the positive and wholesome states of mind that have already arisen. In my view, right mindfulness is the most useful and accessible practice for lay people living in today's society. Mindfulness practice calls for 4 so-called objects, which are 1. The activities of the body, 2. Sensations or feelings, 3. Activities of the mind, and 4. Objects of the mind such as ideas, thoughts, and conceptions. Mindfulness of the first, the activities of the body, is the most accessible to beginners among the 4. So today, I will concentrate on this and leave the other 3 for discussion at a later time. This mindfulness practice of the body can be further divided into 3 types. 1. Breathing. 2. Bodily activities. And 3. Elements of our body. I'll begin by explaining the mindfulness of breathing. I'm certainly not an expert on this form of meditation, but I did undergo some formal training years ago as a Theravada monk in Thailand. Plus, in preparing for today's show, I received some guidance from Gil Franzel, a well-respected teacher at Insight Meditation Center of Menlo Park in Northern California. Traditionally, you sit with your legs crossed on the floor, as you see here with this image of the Buddha. Your hands are placed naturally and comfortably on your lap, and your back is kept straight. However, in order to make it possible for more people to practice this, I'm going to break from tradition by sitting in a chair. You can practice mindfulness whenever you have a little time. For example, while waiting for your plane at the airport, just before going to bed, or waiting in a car to pick up your children or grandchildren, but not while driving. Your head should be cast downward, generally about 45 degrees. As for your eyes, you can keep them half open or fully closed, whichever is more comfortable for you. You then breathe naturally through your nose, not your mouth. Breathing should also be very natural. Now, as for your thoughts, some people mistakenly think we should not think of anything or empty our minds. Instead, you should pay full attention to your breathing. This can be done in a number of ways. One way is to silently say in when you breathe in and out when you breathe out. Or the other method is to direct your attention to the spot under your nostrils to bring attention to the fact that it feels cool when you breathe in and it's warm when you breathe out. Or you can focus your attention toward the slight rise and fall of your abdomen. As you breathe in, your abdomen rises, at which time you can say silently to yourself, rising. And as you breathe out, your abdomen falls, at which time you can say falling. Especially in the beginning, your mind will wander. Various feelings and thoughts will crop up, making it extremely difficult to concentrate on your breathing. Actually, you cannot prevent such distractions from coming up, for the seeds have been planted through your past actions, and they are the inevitable fruit. So the objective is not to prevent them or to think of nothing. What you must do is to allow those feelings and thoughts to emerge and let them go. Let them come and go. But you should not cling and get entangled in them. As you let your thoughts come and go, you return to paying attention to your breathing. Just as a spider eventually returns to the center of its web. Breathing is the center of the web. However, if the emotions or thoughts are just too intense to ignore, you can pay attention to them in order to see them clearly, and then to see them with awareness that is independent of how you are thinking about them. When this is accomplished, then you return to breathing, or metaphorically speaking, to the center of the web. Well-known Vietnamese monk Thich Nhat Hanh says that many people hate their bodies, but breathing helps them to become more acquainted with their bodies. He knows a meditation teacher who begins her practice session by telling her students, "Let us be aware of our bodies. Breathing in, I know I'm standing here in my body. Breathing out, I smile to my body." She encourages us to make peace with our body. In any case, when you are practicing the mindfulness of breathing, you can do this for several minutes or for however long you wish. I have found that even a few minutes will leave you feeling a little more settled and physically refreshed. The second category of mindfulness of the body calls for us to pay full attention to our bodily activities, such as putting on our clothes, listening to others, and eating our meals. Let's take the example of listening to someone else talk. As we all know, listening with our undivided attention is not an easy task. However, with mindfulness practice, we can be trained to listen more fully and deeply. The same goes for eating. Often at times, we are not even aware of what we are eating because we may be eating while watching television, reading a magazine, or while being too absorbed in a conversation. If we are not aware of what we are eating, then we certainly would not be savoring the food. This very frequently leaves us feeling emotionally unfulfilled. However, this mindfulness helps to ease this unsatisfactory feeling while leading you to experience greater contentment. This sense of fulfillment cannot be explained logically. You simply need to practice and experience it. The Buddha taught that our body is comprised of the elements of earth, water, fire, and wind. First, we become mindful of the earth element in us, which refers to that which is solid. So there are earth elements within you as well as outside of you. When we realize that we are comprised of the same elements as those outside us, then we see that there is no real boundary between us and the rest of the universe. Next, we pay attention to the water element within us, which makes up over 75% of our body. When we do this, we realize that we are again deeply connected to the water that is outside of us, be it rain or water in the rivers and the oceans. The same is true for the heat element that is within us. Heat is found in the various bodily processes that manifest themselves in the warmth of our body, and this is intimately connected to the heat outside of us, which ultimately is based on the sun, which is some 93 million miles away. The fourth is the wind element. This exists as air within us, as wind outside of us, as previously discussed in connection with mindfulness of breathing. So, in meditating on the four elements, we become more aware of the components that make up our body as well as its essential connection to the world outside, helping us to realize with our body that we are indeed one with the universe. The last, or the eighth on the list of the Eightfold Noble Path is right concentration. Its original Sanskrit is dhyana, from which we get the word Zen. As concentration entails quite an advanced set of practices that go beyond the aim of this program, I will leave this discussion for another day. Instead, it would be great if you are able to walk away with something beneficial from our discussion on mindfulness, to which we have devoted today's show. As we close, I would like to point out that we have now completed our discussion on the meditation dimension, which together with wisdom and conduct dimensions rounds out the Eightfold Noble Path. Again, if you can put into practice some of these principles, I'm sure that there will be changes for the better in your spiritual and mental life. In our next show, we'll be discussing the growing opportunity for studying Buddhism in American colleges. We hope to see you then.
We at Bukkyo Dendo Kyokai pursue peace and happiness for people around the world. We have published the Buddhist teachings into 41 languages and donated our publication to hotels and other facilities in 55 countries. We would like to share the Buddhist teachings with people around the world. That's our mission. Visit our website for more information.